Welcome to An Open Book with Harry Pacheco, where our guests choose to be an open book, sharing real impactful stories that are making a difference. Welcome to the show. All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition, an STP production. And this is An Open Book with Harry. And here we have a special guest. Now you could go ahead and
Sure.
tell everybody.
Ron Bronson, a.k.a. Santa.
So
there you go.
Ron,
Yes.
we met at church.
That's right.
And you're a very interesting person. You intrigued me from when I met you.
Okay.
You're spreading cheer, but then you also do something at work that we wanted to probably expect from somebody that is spreading cheer.
I got you. Well, truthfully, I think God's got an interesting sense of humor. I say he works in mysterious ways.
Mm-hmm.
I work in the Tennessee Department of Corrections. I work in a maximum security prison. But I'm the son of a career criminal. Honestly, my dad was a career criminal from the time he was a teenager. He went to state and federal prison. My mom used to carry me to the prison to visit him when I was a small child. Not real positive, start there. But truthfully, when I was in the 8th grade, my dad started working for a painting company. They invited him to church. And, he gave his life to Jesus 40-something years ago. I kind of knew God was real when that happened. And 2 weeks later, I gave my life to Jesus. And really the rest is just history with God and a great journey with Jesus since then. I think interesting that God led me into a career into corrections. There's nobody, no inmate that I have met, right, that I know God can't change. Because I saw God change a career criminal, right, from personal experience. So I think that in itself is really God doing some pretty amazing things in my life. That career criminal later called me from Florida when he was living down there and told me that he's from Jersey, by the way, my dad. I'm also from Jersey. Calls me and tells me, that these guys and they're paying me to do a thing down here, right? So now I'm thinking, well, Dad, it's been a long time since you've been involved in crime, and I don't know what you got yourself wrapped up into, right? But then he starts telling me, right, that, they're paying me to be Santa Claus. So now I'm thinking, I really can't afford to put you in the home either, right? I mean, what in the world are you talking about? And so not too long after that, I get a box in the mail, true story. I open up this box, and it's a Santa suit. And I call my dad, hey Dad, what's going on, man? He says, son, it's time to carry on the family business. And that's why I became Santa Claus, just like that. No one had to fall off my roof or anything. So that's a cool way to become Santa. But I think at the end of the day, I think what's really cool is that, I've seen God move in his life and move in my life and give me great opportunities just to share the love and hope that we have with folks that are desperately, obviously, seeking something. These fellas that I work with in the prison, obviously, have all gone to the extreme when it comes to sin and allowed that to kind of control them. And as I tell them oftentimes, I tell them that, they were created in the image of God with a plan and a purpose. This wasn't part of his plan. But as we grow up, we decide, hey, God, step back. I got a plan. Then we end up doing things we don't plan on doing, being in places we don't plan on being. And here we are. But from this point forward, you have to make a decision, right? You going to do it your way or God's way? Obviously, your way got you here. God has a whole different plan for you, and that's kind of my mission. When I go to work every day, is to have that opportunity, and then I get to do that other thing, right? And that is just to bring. There's so much going on in the world, even today, tragic things, things that aren't very positive. Any opportunity we have, I think, to help people and young people and children kind of not be overwhelmed by all the negative in the world, give them an opportunity to really experience a little joy and peace. And we know that true joy and peace comes from a relationship with the Lord. Um, and I have, of course, followed in my dad's footsteps and am Santa Claus, right? Of course, I know there's no Santa Claus without Christmas, and there's no Christmas without Christ.
Wow.
And Jesus is the reason for every season, right? And that's really, I guess, my motivation as I do what I do. Obviously, in July, I dress similar to what you see here. A little bit more elaborate, but it's a Santa on vacation. It's kind of the spiel there, right? He's got to go somewhere.
Yeah.
So I show up here and I go, "Hey, Santa's on
That's
vacation in
awesome.
Murfreesboro,
Yeah.
or Bell Buckle, or Franklin," and they think,
Yeah.
"Well, that's great. Santa's here." Anyway, so and that's kind of how I present it. And then from there, we just talk about the things that they are dreaming about and the things that they desire. And of course, you get a lot of the run of the mill requests for things like uh, PS, PlayStations, and those kinds of things. And there are some kids who ask for some heart wrenching things too, like wish Dad would come back and things like that.
Yeah.
I've actually had that.
Yeah.
Of course, I do let them know that I don't think Santa can do something, but I know someone who can, right?
Yeah.
And that's another opportunity to
Yeah.
kind of point them toward the hope. And then another thing that I do that I really am very passionate about, and I've been doing this for several years. I first started meeting with men at Just Love Coffee several years ago. The first devotion I found was called Bearded Gospel Men. Okay. Seemed appropriate,
Yeah.
but it basically was devotions from folks like D.L. Moody, Keith Green, John the Baptist. It even had some of those guys too. Folks with beards who had something motivational to say about God. And that's what that devotion was about. It wasn't long after that I found another devotion called Men of the Bible.
Wow.
Insights from warriors, wimps, and wise guys. Now there you go. That's right up my alley, right? Wise guys. So we started into that devotion, and soon after that we sort of adopted that whole name, right? Men of the Bible, the mob. It just seemed like a great idea. It's catchy, and it certainly we have of course I have my mob mug with me today, and
Yeah. You can hold that up. Wow.
I also have T-shirts. Cool thing is, when I am going somewhere and I have the big MOB on my shirt,
Yeah.
and Men of the Bible, obviously it sparks some conversation. People want to know what that is, or they say, thumbs up, whatever. It's a good conversation starter, which is a great thing to have when you are really wanting to share the hope and truth that's in you with other folks. So now we have another Men of the Bible study. It's also Men of the Bible 52. It's basically saying 52 men of the Bible. Basically, is what this devotion is about. Uh, and I do remember there are 52 weeks in a year. I don't remember a lot, but I do
Right.
remember that.
Right. That's
And
what I
so
thought.
that just seemed, appropriate. So that's what we're doing. Once a week, we're discussing a different guy, good, bad, and the ugly from the Bible,
Yeah.
And that's just a great, great opportunity. We know God didn't put anybody in the Bible by mistake or by accident. Everybody's there for a reason and purpose. Um, one of the cool things we see most of the time, there's the children's Bible,
Mm-hmm.
and they have some great stories about Noah and David and Moses, whatnot. But like David, I mean, they show
Joseph.
him killing the giant.
Yeah.
They don't show him having an affair with Bathsheba in the
Yeah.
children's Bible, right?
Yeah.
Not there. There's just things like
Yeah.
that. Well, why did God, right, put those stories like of Noah and the problem with the son and Moses not entering the promised land and David and Bathsheba and all this? Why did we see after the big children's Bible story, then we see how these guys have kind of dropped the ball or
Right.
kind of, and I think we've kind of come to that conclusion that God put those in there because he wanted us to know that David and Moses and Noah, they were just guys,
They're human.
just normal guys like
Yeah.
you and me.
Mm-hmm.
And God is the hero, not David or Moses
Yeah.
or Noah, right? And man, we can be part of that same story,
Yeah.
and make Jesus famous, right?
Yeah.
Because he's the hero.
Absolutely. Now, Ron, I have a question for
Yes.
you. Throughout your times, now you said how many years have you worked in the corrections?
Well, this time I've been with the state for 21 years, going on 22 years.
Okay.
I worked in it's the third prison, fifth state facility.
Okay.
I've worked in prisons and a couple of psych and treatment facilities as well. So
Could was there any time while you worked there for 20 odd years or so that you kind of spread, like you kind of like shared your faith?
absolutely.
Was there any particular stories where you brought somebody, planted the seed, and and God was able to water it and then fully grow for him to give his devotion to God?
Well, I can probably come up with a lot of stories. One thing that I thought was very interesting is that, I talked to a young man in prison several times about the Lord, and then he got out of prison. My wife was looking for a guy to get a quote on painting our house. She was just texting, and she texted some painter guy online, and she happened to put in Teresa Bronson, in prison, by the way. We all know what our last name is, because we go by our last names, so like in the military. So she puts in Teresa Bronson, looking for a painter. This guy says, Bronson, I knew a Bronson. Does your husband work in the prison? And she goes, well, yeah. Of course, you got to be a little careful about that, right?
That's what I was thinking.
But his response was, that guy changed my life,
Wow.
And again, not bragging here, because most of the time we don't get to hear what happens when we plant those seeds. We don't get that feedback. I think sometimes God does allow us to hear that to encourage us, let us know that, hey, keep doing what you're doing. You're making a difference, And I think that's true for every believer who shares their faith. They may not see most of the time what comes out of that, right? I worked in the women's prison for a while. Ooh, most dangerous prison in the state. But anyway, for a different reason. But anyway, but I will say, one of the most interesting stories I had there was a lady, really in a bad way. In this, I was on a hospital post. Outside hospital. She's in the hospital, and she's laying there. She can hardly talk, and the TV's on, and we start flipping the channels and asking her, what she wanted to watch, and we did happen to stop on a Christian channel, right? And she kind of raised her hand, and I asked her, "You want to see that?" Yeah, that's fine. And I asked her, "Do you know?" I said, "Are you a Christian?" And her response was yes. I said, "Do you know what that really means?" She said, "No," which I thought was interesting.
Right.
And then I just shared, you know, what it meant to be a Christian. I kind of shared. I like the Romans Road to Salvation, by the way. It's a good little guide
Yeah.
to help sharing that. And I shared that message with her. And then a couple days later, I find out that she had passed away.
Oh.
So you never know.
Yeah.
You never know. We are not promised tomorrow. And so we should make the most of every opportunity, right?
Absolutely.
So, and every day I do have opportunities to share the Lord. Obviously, my role is a security role in the prison.
Right.
I'm not the chaplain necessarily, but but I still have opportunities to have conversations.
Absolutely.
Not just with the inmates. We've got a lot of lost people working in the prison, right?
Yeah.
Got those guys too.
Yeah.
And I share the truth and hope I can with them as well. Interestingly enough, there's a lot of like 12-step programs and other kinds of chaplains and stuff going in the prison. So it's not as taboo necessarily to say something about Jesus in a prison because, it's kind of there. It's kind of the Bible's there. The Men of Valor and other ministries are there and trying to help these guys. So it's a little bit more accepted. I would have a harder time in a public school sharing my faith than I would, I think, in a prison.
No, absolutely.
Yeah. Although maybe if we shared Jesus in a public school more, we'd have less people in prison. But who knows? So, but there you go.
So, Ron, my question is, you are a Christian, and how long have you been a Christian for?
I actually gave my life to Jesus, right, when I was in the 8th grade. That's
Wow.
when my dad got saved.
Okay.
It's been a journey.
Yeah.
I have not had a perfect journey with Jesus.
Absolutely.
I would say not perfect, but the word I like to use is persistent.
Yeah.
I persistently pursued God.
Yeah.
Since then. And again, it's I like to think of life a lot like a roller coaster.
Yeah.
Okay, and I like roller coasters, by the way.
Yeah.
Maybe not as much as I used to, but the thing about roller coasters are, you get loop-de-loops and corkscrews and lots of things going on, right?
Yeah.
And as long as you buckle the seatbelt, pull that bar down, you put the safety features in place, you can have faith that you're going to be okay.
Yeah.
No matter what's going on, right? Yeah. Life is like that too,
Yeah.
As we say oftentimes in our mob meetings is, God's way is better than our way. We learn the hard way, so we're going to do it His way.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's
like
true
that.
about life too. So.
So you're in charge of spreading joy.
Okay.
But then your job also is spreading the word.
That's right.
You could do both.
Absolutely.
You're spreading two of the biggest things.
Mm-hmm.
Now, why you're so interesting to me is that you overshadow in some ways, and I don't know if this is a misconception of what the narrative is in our culture and in media and things of that nature, but in some ways, a lot of people would say Santa Claus overshadows Jesus,
right,
and His birth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but you have touched in the beginning and said, actually, no. And you kind of control that narrative saying, no, I give it up to glory to God first. Absolutely. Before I am Santa Claus. Have you found that hard to do?
I had a longtime friend when I started I went professional in 2019. An old-time friend messaged me, and he said, "Why do you want to be Satan Claus?" Was what he asked me.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting. I don't think it was a typo. But anyway, I understood why he was asking me that. But I explained to him. I said, "Listen," I said, Saint Nicholas, Santa Claus, was a guy. He lived in Mira, which is now in modern day Turkey. And he had some wealthy parents. He died when he was young, left them a bunch of money. He could have done a lot of stuff. What he did was give to the poor, and that's why he became famous, right? And I am just portraying, right? He did that because he loved God, because he was a Christ follower, and I'm just basically portraying that guy, right?
Yeah.
Following through on what he did. I was in Colombia, not the country,
Yeah.
the town.
Yeah.
Here recently,
Yeah.
last Christmas season, and another weird and true story. And I'm out in front of this ice cream shop. They'd hired me to be there, right, for this Christmas event. And a fella walks up to me, and he has a machete on his side and a
what?
backpack. Just walking around the street. I'm not sure why he was there and why he had a machete, but he does walk up to me, and we have a young lady that works for the ice cream shop standing beside me. And he asked me, why are you dressed up like that, right? Why are you, trying to, why are you in such a costume and dressing up and trying to be Santa Claus? Don't you know that's evil, right? And so anyway, she's a little worried he's going to pull the machete out any moment and chop my head off. So, but I kind of explained to him again a little bit about St. Nicholas, his motivation. I spent a few minutes talking to him about this. Next thing he says is, Christmas trees are evil too. And I said, well, I'm not a Christmas tree, right? I said, I'm just a Christ follower like you. And I'm just trying to, I said, I'm an actor, by the way. In case you didn't know, I'm an actor. I'm portraying a character.
Right.
I'm portraying St. Nicholas. And anyway, I just wished him a Merry Christmas and went on my life, because obviously they were not paying me there the Christmas. I mean, they weren't paying me to be in a debate with a guy at the high school shop. They were paying me to be Santa Claus. So, but anyway, so yes, so there are those people, right, who aren't big fans of Santa. But with that said, you can be a Santa guy, and maybe push that narrative and try your best to be the guy, right, who's the focus, right? One thing I know, and I've walked in some really large gatherings before.
Yeah. What is the largest gathering?
Truthfully, some guy on Messenger, messaged me about coming to a place, and we discussed the time, we discussed the date, we discussed the price, and he said, "Okay, cool." So I showed up at this pretty large church in Nashville, and they had a really large fellowship hall. And I walk in there, and it's wall to wall, shoulder to shoulder, Hindus, okay? Just wall to wall Hindus. And on the stage, they're playing, I guess, Hindu music, and all the kids and some of the grandmas, everybody were running up, Santa Claus! They were so excited to see Santa. And it was like Elvis had just walked in, right? And so I am there, and they are all rushing around and just amazed that Santa Claus showed up. And then a fellow walks up to me and says, "Oh, hello, who sent you?" And I said, pulled up my phone and said, "This guy." And I'm like, "Okay, thank you." And he walks away, and again, people are running up, getting pictures with Santa, and everything was just amazing, and just a great time. I did take a selfie with the Hindu people behind me, at one point. which comes is an important point of this story because the guy comes back with the guy, and the guy that messaged me and we talked about this said, "Oh, I never got it approved by the leadership." I said, "Oh, well, thanks for telling me." So anyway, the leader guy handed me a $20 bill, said thanks for coming, and said maybe some other time, and of course kicks me out. But it was a very large gathering. There must have been, I don't know, there might have been 1,000 people there.
Wow.
But that was big. But I also had some other gatherings where I was supposed to be that are relatively large too. We have a group called Christmas Love
Yeah.
that puts together a thing every year for low income families. And this last year was at the VFW, and they really did a big thing there with a bunch of families and whatnot. And so there are those. There's a very large church in Nashville, and called Zeal Church.
Yeah.
And they pay me every year to come there for their 3 services. I get there at 7:30 in the morning,
Wow.
and I leave at like 1 or so in the afternoon. And they have a big Christmas village set up outside.
Yeah.
And I'm out there, and between services, or during service, I am kind of hanging out with the kids. And I'm outside taking pictures with families, and so that's also, so there are some big events. I do home visits too sometimes.
Yeah.
And I do a lot of photography work. A lot of photographers
Yeah.
will hire me, come in, and families are coming in to get Christmas pictures. That usually starts in October, so I'm usually busy every weekend from October all the way through Christmas.
You're actually the most realistic Santa Claus, as far as the beard goes, and
That's important to me too. I honestly, you can get real whimsical and almost clown-like. I guess you could. I see a lot of Santas with very, very red cheeks and very waxed, mustaches and just almost their outfits sometimes are just so sparkly, right? Like they're a king. I do have some pretty nice outfits. I will say that, but. The best compliment I can get, of course, to be honest with you, is I think he's the real Santa.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I've had that sometimes.
Yeah, because you have a demeanor that's very calm. Your mannerisms are very you're very approachable. You feel comfortable with you, and
being calm is very good in my business at the prison too.
No, absolutely.
So
no, just your demeanor, the way you present yourself, even the way you talk. It's very methodical, in some ways, and you're an awesome Santa Claus as far as I'm concerned.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I was going to ask you.
Yes.
Now this is the transition.
Okay.
So you being Santa, and then dealing with the mob.
Right.
How long has the mob been around?
Well, it's been several years now that we've had that group of guys together. The mob for at least a couple of years, 2 or 3 years, I think, have been meeting. And that's real important. Technically speaking, my men's group is a ministry of my church, Christian Life, as what they call a C group or a community group, which they have a spring semester and a fall semester, that type of thing.
Yeah.
But I, along with a couple other groups, have decided to sort of transcend that. Right, we meet every week.
Okay.
365. We're there every Saturday.
And every Saturday.
Right.
Never miss a Saturday.
That's right. Never miss a Saturday. Saturday at 10 o'clock.
Where do you meet at?
We meet at Liberty Station, which is just an amazing place, by the way. Another great ministry, because Liberty Station, they are a training center, first off, for people with special needs.
Okay.
By the way, who wouldn't normally have an opportunity to get a job, right, or work somewhere. They train them to work in the food industry, right, in retail and those kinds of things. Wednesday through Saturday, 9:30 to 1:30, they're open for business. They are at a location just right behind Toots in Murfreesboro.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting. It's a garage looking thing.
Yeah,
and
it
then,
looked like a Jiffy Lube or
well, I'll
something.
tell you what it used to be. Goodyear Tire Store.
Oh,
I know because I've gotten tires there before,
wow.
years ago.
Yeah.
So, but they in 2020 they acquired that building and turned it into this training center. The garage area
Yeah.
has some tables out there and a little area sort of like this, and
Yeah.
inside is more of a traditional restaurant, looking setting there.
Yeah.
But they just do an amazing job. They have all kinds of grilled type sandwiches and stuff. But we found it to be just a perfect place for the mob to meet. We mostly meet in the garage when we can, you know. So that's where our mob meetings are, in the garage. That's our hideout. No, I'm sorry. But anyway, so
Yeah.
but anyway, it's a good. We like supporting the ministry, and I think that's one of the reasons we decided to meet there. We used to meet at Just Love Coffee years ago. It got a little cramped, a little. There was a lot of different reasons why. Now I chose Just Love Coffee to start with too, because honestly, there was a ministry there. To be honest with you, they started too from the Wave Coffee Company in raising money to help people who wanted to adopt. Right, and that's what
I know what that
Just
is.
Love Coffee really their origin story is.
Yeah.
But we're now transitioned into this place, and we really like it a lot. We think it's a great deal. It's really kind of one of my main ministries that I really like to support.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'll be doing it's like the third year. I'll be doing a Summer Santa Christmas and July event there.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, at Liberty Station as well, and I do Christmas there as well. So we have a great time. There's a young man that works there, by the way, and he is 6'9".
Wow.
And
How's the weather up there?
that's a great question. You know what? I walked in one day and he said, "Santa, I know him." I thought, oh man. So they did it. They bought him an elf suit. So
It's Santa.
he's a 6'9" elf. We do have a picture of him sitting on my knee, by the way. So
Yeah.
and he plays guitar and sings too.
Wow.
So yeah, we have a great time with the 6'9" Buddy the Elf.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. Just a few weeks ago, we're there, me and this fella, and this guy walks in that's taller than him.
6'9", so a 7-foot guy.
He was a 7-foot guy, and we took a picture of him and of course the 7-foot guy side by
Wow.
side. That was pretty cool. He had never really seen a guy taller than him, so that was a big event for him. So
Wow.
so there you go.
Basketball much?
Yeah. So, but anyway,
So,
but no, there you go.
Ron, now I want to ask you.
Yes.
What does the wife think about your Santa Claus? What does she think about it? Is she?
She hasn't really jumped into being Mrs. Claus.
Yeah, that's
much.
what I was. Yeah, that's what my other
She did
question.
do it once. Now, several years ago, I got contacted by the Christmas Love organization. There was a young man named Tristan, and he had 2 younger siblings, and they were a low-income family, and he had leukemia. And so there was a bed and breakfast here in Murfreesboro in October. I believe it was sometime in October. Might have been the first weekend in November. They just decorated it like Christmas, inside and out. The whole town came out. The fire department was there.
Wow.
And the family was sitting on the porch, and they were all singing Christmas carols. They finally sang "Here Comes Santa Claus," and me and my wife,
Yeah.
she was dressed as Mrs. Claus,
Wow.
approached him. We had a bag of toys and stuff for him and them. So it was really, they wanted him to have Christmas with them,
Yeah.
because just a few days later he actually passed away.
Oh.
So that's really been the only time my wife really jumped
Yeah.
in the role, but she thought that was important. But she was just showing me some dresses the other day. She was planning on doing this after she retires, But she is really a big supporter. I mean, I would not be the guy. I would not be that Santa without her.
Yeah.
I mean, she has really helped when it comes to a lot of the wardrobe choices and
Yeah.
things that she has found. I really try to dress authentically as well, right?
Yeah.
The real leather boots, real leather
Yeah.
belts, and things. I want things to be real,
Yeah.
And so she's good at finding that stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, someday she'll be there.
Yeah.
But right now she's just my best support.
Do you do what any upcoming events that we should know about?
Sure. All in July, of course. I'm gonna just next weekend is really a big weekend
Mm-hmm.
because kicking it off at a place called Pet Paradise. Okay, believe it or not, where we'll take pictures of a lot of dogs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a animal friendly Santa. So some are not. Some are not a big fan.
Yeah.
But I'm I'm an animal friendly Santa. But we'll start with Pet Paradise, on Friday morning, and then I get whisked over to Urban Air, which is an indoor activity center for kids, and trampolines and slides and zip lines and stuff. And I have done the zip line a few times as Santa. They love watching Santa fly around, so I do that. And then Saturday, I'll be at Liberty Station
Okay.
doing Christmas in July there on Saturday morning. And then from there, I go to Animal City,
Okay.
which is across the street. Matter of fact, just right over here.
Yeah.
There, we do dogs, cats, lizards, snakes. I've done woodchucks, just all kinds of. Someone walked up, a special needs person really walked up with 2 water bags of fish that they had just bought,
Yeah.
and they want to get a picture with Santa with their fish. So there they are sitting on Santa's lap with 2 bags of fish. So that was interesting. So yeah, I had a lot of opportunities. So I love doing the animal stuff. And then on Sunday, I'm running out to Franklin to the Urban Air out there to once again fly around with the kids and hang out probably with the Grinch. Shows up sometimes at the Urban Air events as well. So
Did you do anything as far as like there's a train?
You're saying Santa on the train? deal?
Yeah.
On my bucket list, haven't got there yet. But
Okay. Santa on train is one thing that I remember, and then they have a few. I don't know the mall.
Yeah.
That top notch mall in
right.
Nashville.
I haven't really done the mall thing much. The thing about the mall, there's a different category
Yeah.
of Santa. Basically, you get an old retired guy, right?
Yeah.
Who has nothing really better to do with his time than maybe hang out at the mall all week, right? And they pay him a certain amount of money,
Yeah.
right? I will say it's substantially less than we would get, in the studio or in these events. But then again, he's there all week. It's a kind of a different thing going on. I did something that was on my bucket list last year, I think. That was I called Salvation Army. Put on the most traditional Santa suit I had. And I was at the Walmart in Smyrna, out there with the kettle, ringing the bell. I thought that was pretty iconic. Santa at the Salvation Army. So I was able to do that, knock it off my bucket list.
That's really cool because that's very iconic for my childhood.
Absolutely, yeah.
Growing up with that and knowing that he's doing the bell thing.
Absolutely.
I didn't even know they did that still.
Yeah. You can, anybody, by the way, can call Salvation Army and sign up to ring the bell, raise money for Salvation Army. So they're always looking for volunteers to do that around Christmas time, of course. So that's, but there's always so many opportunities to really, share our faith and to show God's love in practical ways.
Well, Ron, you're an awesome guy.
Well, I'm okay. God's awesome.
Yeah. Here's what we like to do here.
Okay.
While we sit here. This is as you know, this is STP production.
Right.
And this is a channel coming from STP.
Mm-hmm.
But we do something called the Grateful Four.
Okay.
Trent, you want to be able to? Oh. So it's basically
4 things you must grateful
4 things you're most grateful for.
Absolutely.
It doesn't have to be in order. And if you want to give us those 4 things, but
Sure.
really take your time.
Sure.
The
Can I phone a friend?
Yeah.
No. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, well, first off, not to sound pious or, religious, but certainly most grateful for, my relationship with the Lord.
Absolutely.
Right. I mean, I just, and I think God that He led my dad to that church because He changed the trajectory of our whole family. Right, when He gave His life to Christ.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely most grateful for the Lord, and I'm thankful for my dad who has led me to the Lord and led me in that direction. Certainly grateful to an amazing woman that I married going on 36 years ago. She has put up with so much. Still surprised she didn't kick me to the curb, but I'm thankful for that. Very grateful for that. So let's see. That's God, my dad, my wife, and then of course, I guess I'll have to say my kids and grandkids. Right.
Right.
I'm grateful for that.
That could go under family.
Yeah, family. We'll just put that with family. I'm grateful that God led me to a career working in the corrections. Most people in the free world, and this is the free world, by the way, that's what they call this, the free world, don't rarely get to really meet or see or interact with criminals, right? Usually if they're interacting with a criminal, they're giving up their wallet or something, it's not a good thing. But I get to interact with them every day, right? And again, I know that God loves them. He created them with a plan and a purpose. It breaks my heart when I see one of them, commit suicide or die. There's so many young people in dialysis and heart. I mean, having so many health problems because of drugs and alcohol use. What a terrible thing. So I'm very grateful that God has led me into the career He's led me into as well. It's certainly a ministry as well as a career, and then of course I'm grateful for the other opportunities He's given me, right, with the mob and with Santa. Again, I think I don't. There's a lot of skills I don't have. I can't fix your car, right? I probably can't repair your house. Skills I don't have that I wish I had because they come in handy. But what I do have, whatever skills I do have, I want to use those right for the glory of God, right?
Yeah.
That's the thing, I know that, and sometimes God will call us to do something. It isn't always our ability; it's our availability that's most important. Our availability, right?
Yeah.
He called Moses, to be this, speaker, and He's going, dude, you got the wrong guy, But God had a plan, So.
Lastly, we talk about different things you're a part of. You're part of Incredible Bible Study with MOB or the MOB.
Right.
Is there a specific organization that you want to shout out right now that you want to proudly support and probably use this platform to shout them out?
Well, again, Liberty Station, certainly one that I can't say enough about. There's so many different ways that we can help support their ministry in training these folks with special needs. Obviously, first off, we can go and frequent their restaurant Wednesday through Saturday, 9:30 to 1:30. They also,
What's good to get there?
Good question. There's all these grilled type sandwiches, right?
Yeah.
And there's one called the B-52. Okay. Yeah. And it's interesting. It has, it has bacon and brie,
Yeah.
And it's bacon and brie on a donut, right?
That's different.
It is different. So I'm a diabetic, right? I'm not doing the donut. So anyway, I tell them, you can look, you can
Keto bread.
that's right. I do. They do make homemade bread there.
Yeah.
So I say, look, put mine on toast, and add egg, and so then it's bacon, brie, and egg on toast.
That sounds great.
Doesn't that sound great?
Yeah.
So the B-52, I call it the bomber.
Yeah.
It's because it's my sandwich. But anyway, no. But there's lots of things like that. There's all kinds of different things. The ballpark, of course, there's kind of a hot dog chili thing going on, and they have so many different. They have the traditional grilled cheese, just all kinds of sandwiches you can't even imagine.
Yeah.
Made by these folks, and they have other things too. Great desserts and things. But yeah, I definitely say look them up. Not just for the restaurant, see what they're doing out there. It's amazing. There are a lot of great ministries, man, that I just really love. So, another one is A Soldier's Child, by the way. Just one that an amazing story. I mean, here's a military guy who had a neighbor across the street. There was a child there. Father had been killed in action. He decides to put on a birthday party for that child. Okay, it's become a national. Ministry, right? And that's what they do. They have summer camps, and they have all kinds of college, scholarships, and they just celebrate these kids that have lost parents in action in military. That's another great ministry that I really want to shout out, I guess.
Yeah.
So there you go.
All right. Well, is there anything that you want to...
I thank you for this opportunity, really, to sit down with you and to get to know you a little better too. I was really happy to meet your family. Beautiful family, by the way.
Thank you.
And then, of course, I did a little background check. No, I looked up your stuff and the books you have authored and whatnot. What a great thing, and of course the big bully, focus there. We don't like bullies, do we?
No, we do not.
They're on the naughty list.
They're definitely on the naughty.
Anyway, so, but anyway, so no, I appreciate what you do as well.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I thank you for being one of my guests and being an open book.
Absolutely.
You definitely sat on this couch and was an open book to me. You are definitely an open book to STP, who produces the show.
Absolutely.
And hey, first and foremost, thank God for giving us this opportunity to have this time.
Absolutely.
That we could sit down and know more about Ron Bronson.
I appreciate that. Well, I hope that Ron Bronson has led people to look toward God. I mean, that's what's important. I want them to know that his way is better than my way. I learned the hard way, so do it his way.
Yeah. Well, this is another episode of Be Open Book with Harry Pacheco. Thank you, STP. Thank you for listening to another episode of Open Book with Harry Pacheco. Be sure to like, share, follow, subscribe, and leave us a 5-star review. We'll see you on the next one.